We will start the regular press conference by Minister IWAYA. Minister, please. Thank you for joining this press conference. First of all, I have one report. From September 15th to the 17th, His Excellency Mr. Prevo, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, will visit Japan. He is from the Kingdom of Belgium. I will have a foreign minister meeting and a working lunch on the 16th. On the occasion of the National Day of Belgium at the Osaka Kansai Expo on September 14th, Mr. Clarenval, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Economy, and Ms. Matz, Minister of Public Modernization, who are also visiting Japan, will attend the event. In view of the 160th anniversary of Japan-Belgium friendship next year, leveraging the opportunities of the ministers' visit to Japan and the foreign ministers' meeting, we wish to further bolster our relationship with Belgium, who is a strategic partner sharing common values and principles. That is my initial remarks.
Please raise your hand if you have a question, and if you are called, please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. Nikkei Baba-san.
Thank you, Nikkei Baba. This is about the Japanese detained in the U.S. Two questions on consular system. The Japanese nationals detained in the U.S. have returned to Seoul on a South Korean chartered flight. After detention was known, how did the consular authorities of the two countries cooperate? What particular cooperation was possible precisely because of improving bilateral relationship? The reason for this incident is the U.S. visa regulator. It could also happen with Japanese companies operating in the U.S. So this is no normal circumstance. A Japanese person detained in the U.S. How did the Minister of Foreign Affairs respond to the U.S.?
The Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, held in custody 3 Japanese nationals, and they have departed the United States, a chartered flight arranged by a Korean company, around noon yesterday and arrived in Korea afternoon today, Japan time. After this incident occurred, close communications have been taken between Atlanta, Seoul, and the Korean side, and initiatives have been taken. I would like to extend my appreciation to the support from the Korean side. With regards to consular affairs between Japan and Korea, we are maintaining close communication on a daily basis. With regards to Consular Affairs Bureau negotiations and talks are taking place between the two countries every year. And the two countries have signed an MOU for cooperation in case protection for people are required in a third country. And this kind of collaboration will be enhanced going forward. Needless to say, there has been exchanges with the authorities on the U.S. side, but these are diplomatic exchanges, and therefore I would like to refrain from giving too much color on this, and therefore I would like to, however, reiterate that we have had very close communication with the U.S. side to protect our Japanese nationals. I do hope that a similar incident will not occur in the future, but in case similar incidents do happen, we will make sure to collaborate closely between the two authorities.
Uemura-san, Yomiuri Shimbun newspaper.
Uemura from Yomiuri. Thank you very much for taking my question. This is with regards to recognition of the State of Palestine. Yesterday, you received a request from the Non-Partisan Parliamentary Association for reconsidering human rights diplomacy. And on this occasion, you stated, we will eventually recognize the state, but the question is when. And also referred to the current situation, saying that there is this issue of Israel stiffening its stance. A high-level conference on Palestine will be held at the UN General Assembly later this month. What is the view of the government of Japan on the current situation regarding a diplomatic recognition of the state of Palestine? Your view, please. Thank you.
Including the opportunity of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, as you referred to. and the global debate related to the recognition of Palestinian state, we are paying close attention with a very high level of interest. The position of Japan has remained unchanged, as I have been repeating, in that we have consistently supported the two-state solution of the Israeli-Palestinian issue. In that regard, we will recognize in the future, and I think fundamentally it is a question of by when, which I have been mentioning so far. In order to advance peace, but it is also important what peace means in these circumstances, but in order to advance peace, we also have to think about what is most appropriate and what is most effective. We have been thinking seriously regarding the recognition of a Palestinian state. We will continue a comprehensive review on the appropriate timing and the ways to do so. At this moment, that is all I can say.
Next question, Kawamura-san from NHK. Kawamura from NHK. I have a question on attacks on Qatar. Israel launched an attack on Qatar targeting senior members of Hamas, and Prime Minister Netanyahu has since said he will not rule out the possibility of a second attack. Your take on this?
Regarding this matter, on the 10th, I have issued my foreign minister statement, and it is exactly as I have mentioned. The realization of a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages are urgent priorities. While serious diplomatic efforts are pursued by relevant countries, including Qatar, Japan strongly condemns this attack, as Israel's action undermines those efforts and threatens Qatar's sovereignty and security, and consequently jeopardizes regional stability. Japan expresses its solidarity with Qatar and once again strongly urges Israel to immediately return to negotiations and to work in good faith towards a ceasefire and the release of hostages. We once again call on Israel. The peace and stability in the Middle East are of paramount importance to our country, and therefore Japan urges all parties concerned to refrain from any actions, including acts of terrorism, that could undermine regional stability, and we strongly continue to call for the de-escalation of tensions. As for the government of Japan, we will do our utmost to ensure the safety of Japanese nationals traveling to and staying abroad, and is determined to make all necessary efforts to prevent further de-escalation.
Ayukawa-san from Kyodo Press.
Ayukawa, Kyodo. This is about tomorrow, the memorial ceremony about the Sado gold mine. However, I want to ask about the recognition of a Palestinian state. On the 22nd, France and Saudi Arabia will co-host a conference. As for the government of Japan, in conjunction with that event, as you mentioned, Minister Iwaya, will you be expressing that position of the government of Japan, or will you continue to review the position? I wish to confirm that part. Thank you. As I mentioned, yes, we are continuing our review towards that position. Thank you. And the next question, please. Yes. If I may, again, on the 13th of September, at the World Cultural Heritage Site at Sado Island Gold Mine, there will be the memorial ceremony for the former workers. Two questions. When this was registered as the Cultural Heritage Site, particularly for the workers from the Korean Peninsula, there will be faithful memory of the workers, and a memorial ceremony for all the workers will be held annually, and this was expressed as an international commitment. And there is an improving relationship between the two countries, And considering about reconciliation, I think you wanted the presence of government of Republic of Korea, but continuing from last year, Korea will not attend. What is your straightforward response? And the second point is, last year, Ms. Ikuina, a parliamentary vice minister, represented the government and delivered a speech. For this year, who will represent the government of Japan? How are you going to respond as the government? And compared to last year, about the political level in terms of representation, would that have any reasons, please? Thank you.
First of all, with regards to the memorial ceremony, the Director General Okano for Cultural Affairs will be representing the government of Japan to attend the ceremony. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have taken a comprehensive approach to making that decision. And since last year, we had wished that the memorial ceremony will be held with the participation of representatives from Korea, and we have been coordinating towards that effort. However, we will continue to closely and carefully communicate with South Korea. The fact that they have decided to not attend the ceremony is regrettable, despite of all the efforts that we have been made on both ends. But this is again a result of close and careful communication between the two sides. And so we would like to continue to have close communication in order to ensure that we have good diplomatic relations going forward. Asian News International, Itagaki-san. Asian News International. So the summit meeting between Japan and India has been held very successfully, and Ambassador C.B. George has returned to his home country, deputy minister in that position. He will serve his country. And I was able to have an interview with him before his departure, and there were a lot of things that he mentioned, but he emphasized about Quad. Cooperation with Quad amongst Quad nations. It's not only relevant for Japan and India, but for the sake of safety, peace, and prosperity of all countries involved. It is a very relevant and important framework, and therefore he hopes that this will be pursued very strongly going forward. What is your take on that message and your outlook, prospects towards Quad going forward?
Indeed, Ambassador George, yes, he kindly came over to greet myself. Regarding the development of our bilateral relationship, I once again would like to pay tribute to his effort for advancing our bilateral relationship. Of course, due to the support of the ambassador, recently Prime Minister Modi came to Japan, and we were able to conclude it successfully. The joint statement was issued between the two leaders, and we were able to express a vision of a concrete pathway for Japan-India cooperation in the next decade. India is an important partner for us to realize FOIP, and we wish to further deepen our cooperation in wide-ranging areas. You asked about the Quad. As you are aware, in January and July of this year, hosted by the US, we had 2 Quad foreign ministerial meetings. We reaffirmed the importance of cooperation among allies and like-minded countries, and our commitment to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific, and have affirmed that we will further strengthen our cooperation. We have agreed to work towards the Quad Leaders Summit to be hosted by India later this year, and towards the Foreign Ministerial to be hosted by Australia in 2026. And the 4 countries have already agreed, and therefore Japan-India relationship will be close, and the four-country Quad relationship will be further strengthened and made more enriched. Nikkei Baba-san, going on to the Japanese detained and the impact onto the investment, because President Lee Jae-min mentioned that there could be an impact onto its investment into the United States. Japan and Korea are trying to accelerate the investment into the U.S., but employment has become a risk. And what will you call on for the visa in the U.S.? And in order to facilitate Japanese companies' investment in the U.S., how will the government support?
With regards to the situation that we're seeing regarding visa in the United States, there are many Japanese nationals who are staying in the United States, and therefore the Japanese government is and has been watching how things are developing very closely. And we have been making effort to gather necessary information and communicating very closely. We will make sure to take the right measures going forward. Supporting Japanese businesses active overseas is a very important mission of the government, and therefore taking this incident into account, we will make sure to gather necessary information of what is going on the ground, and we will continue to offer necessary information in support of Japanese companies. So 18 diplomatic missions abroad that are located in the United States have Japan business support desks. This has been established, and there are officers who are responsible for extending support to Japanese businesses. And they are very active in providing consultations and support to questions and inquiries from individual companies. As for JETRO, to support businesses, Japanese businesses in the United States. They are offering consultation services by experts in the United States and holding seminars to disseminate information. So these are just few examples of various initiatives that are taking place in order to extend support to Japanese businesses in the United States.
Last question, Uemura-san, Yomiuri Shimbun newspaper. Uemura of Yomiuri Shimbun, about the LDP presidential election. The date of the election has been decided. What are the issues that you wish to see in depth debates? In what areas do you think the continuity of policies with the Ishiba administration are necessary? And including such aspects, what kind of a president of the LDP do you think is desirable? Thank you.
I would like to refrain commenting from my position as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Challenges of the Ishiba administration, which is ongoing, outstanding issues, must be taken on in a continuous manner. There are numerous challenges, of course, but for example, revamping the political situation. The fact that we have lost so many votes in support was because we were not able to offer a solution to that issue. So that is paramount. And there has been exchanges in the Diet today, but following up with the tariff agreement between Japan and the United States is also extremely critical. And raising wages, which is a track record that has been achieved by the Ishiba administration, wage increase more than price increase. This is something that must be addressed. And also a disaster risk prevention agency and so forth. The various initiatives that the Ishiba administration has been pursuing were not refused. It was that the nature of the LDP that has been criticized, and that was reflected in the outcome of the election. So a radical reform of political reform and continuation of the policies of Ishiba administration So that is the kind of setup I think is expected. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Murakami, Fuji TV. Murakami. About China, in Suzhou, China, a Japanese national have had a trouble. This is the news in the SNS. As the Foreign Ministry, if you're aware of any facts, please. Indeed. The information on the SNS, we are aware of the information. At the moment, at the Japanese Consulate General in Shanghai, we are making inquiries to the local Chinese authority, and we are in the midst of confirming the facts and circumstances. If there are any incidents which requires the protection of Japanese nationals, we will take appropriate responses. Once the facts and circumstances are confirmed, we wish to send out our information once again in an appropriate form. Thank you. End of the press conference. Thank you. Thank you.